Oh, we here. You are now in tune with the most wise Fleavelli. Oh man, and we got some breaking news for y'all, shawty. We got some real breaking news for y'all, man. Oh man. So, I'm pretty sure y'all know what's been taking place with this little Boston Celtics situation, with the coach and stuff like that. It's been a lot going on, and I don't know if I should actually play the audio on where I got this information from, or should I just tell a story and let people come in the comments and say, "Oh, you're lying, and that's not true, and how you know that, and this and the third." And then when the real story comes out, I could come back and say, "Wow, the most wise, where you get this information from, man?" I mean, I could tell you, honestly speaking, but you gotta become a member. So tap that join button. $2.99 a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to update it and add videos to that section. If you're a master, you know what I'm saying? $7. And if you're about getting that shmoney and you're a treasurer, you cherish the treasure, you cherish the money, you know what I'm saying? The capitalism and all that. Sign up for that $30 a month. Get in tune with the treasurer Zoom courses and all that. Weekly, we're gonna talk about, entrepreneurial endeavors. Share investment opportunities with one another. And really make this community something, you feel me? And really do this real black power thing, you heard? Black economics and all that. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Probably gonna have to do this without any music today. Try a different format for the sports aspect of it. This isn't really my crowd like that, so I'm pretty sure the algorithm ain't gonna really push this too much. But nevertheless, this story proves our good brother Tariq Nasheed correct. This story is another situation in which we can get a lesson from. So let's start with who this guy is. IDE UDOKA, who is the husband or the fiance, right? Because he didn't even want to really marry Nia Long. And we're going to get into that. He didn't even want to really marry Nia Long. Imi Sunday, born August 9th, that means he's a Leo, is a Nigerian-American professional basketball coach and a former player who was head coach of the Boston Celtics at the National Basketball Association, currently suspended by the team 2022-2023 season. He represented the Nigerian national team during his player career. All right? Yeah. So he's deep into that Nigerian culture, you feel me? He is deep into that Nigerian culture. Even though he was born in Portland, Oregon. He still coached the Nigerian team. Udoka was a player on the Nigerian national team at the 2006 FIBA World Championships. Udoka led Nigeria in scoring, assists, and steals. Udoka also played for Nigeria in 2005 and the 2011 FIBA African Championships, winning a bronze medal in both tournaments. Udoka has served as an assistant coach at the at the U.S. basketball team or whatever under Spurs head coach Greg served as assistant coach for USA basketball under the Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. Udoka's coaching role was Udoka's coaching role on the 2019 FIBA World Cup team helped them build relationships with Celtics players Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, who advocated for hiring as the new Boston head coach. Udoka also coached for Team USA under Pop in 2000. All right, cool. Now, personal life. Udoka's father was of Nigerian descent, which qualified the younger Udoka for Nigerian citizenship. His older sister M. Fawn played WNBA. His mother, who died in late 2011, was an American from Illinois. So his mom's basically had a kid with his pops, and his pops, had a Inca baby. In November 2011, Udoka's then girlfriend, Nia Long, then he had a little Inca baby, Kez Sunday Udoka. The couple became engaged. In 2005, Long has stated she has no plans to marry, or maybe this Tether has no plans on marrying you. So we see what's going on here, and I wanted to I really wanted to show this aspect first. Right, I wanted to show this aspect first because I want y'all to understand who we dealing with here, and the type of way he was raised, and you know what I'm saying. Now, Portland, Oregon, is a very, very, very racist town. At least to my understanding. I don't know. But let's see Portland, Oregon's black population. Let's see how much black people's out there. So according to so this is Portland, Oregon and stuff, right? So according and trust me, all this gonna make sense when I tell the story. All right, so we have what? So what is it? So 60,000 people. And so a little bit more than half is black, right? According to the census, 77% of Portlanders are white compared to 5.8% that are black. Statewide, the divide is much more stark. 86% to 2.2% or whatever. The Atlantic called Portland the whitest city in America. Atlantic called Portland the whitest city in America. This is where he was born, in Portland, Oregon. Right? Portland has become the focal point of Black Lives Matter protests in America, but it has tortured history when it comes to race. However, the city remains the whitest city in America, has been troubled with racism. All right. So, now, why does all that matter? Why does all that matter in this story? If this man just was only fired, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that have to do with him getting fired? What does that have to do with anything? You may ask. And the situation is this: he was fired because he was chasing after white women. He was fired because he was dealing with an Anglo-Saxon in the back office's Anglo-Saxon wife. And when the Anglo-Saxon wife said she wanted to make it right with her husband, this Tether couldn't let go. Now we all know that white vagina is the African's kryptonite, is the Tether's kryptonite, is the immigrants' kryptonite. They come to America with only hopes and goals of getting next to whiteness. And this man who has clearly been influenced by Nigeria, even though he was born in America, he clearly identifies with his Nigerian side and has that Nigerian pride. And he only got with our sister Nia Long for the look. You see it like these Tethers, these Africans that try to marry our sisters for $5,000 and stuff like that. That's what they look at our sisters as. They look at them as just a little marriage to stay in America. They look at them as paperwork. That right there is a arrangement. You understand? Even when he went to when the Celtics was in a little playoffs run, and they had a video of Nia Long celebrating and stuff like that in her home. Why was she not at the games? You feel me? You see, she wasn't at the game because he was chasing after white shorty. He was chasing after white zaddy, basically. When you chasing that white vagina, you're chasing after white zaddy. But let's get into it, because it was a lot of y'all condemning women, even trying to praise Stephen A. Smith for the clown behavior. So now when we play the situation back and I give it context, then we gonna understand what's taking place. But like I said, y'all could disagree with me. Y'all could say that what I'm saying is made up. But in due time, the story gonna come out, and this video shall serve as evidence. And don't get it twisted, I have been wrong before. You know, out of 160 videos, I've been wrong about 2 times. So this may be the 3rd, but nevertheless, I don't think so. I got it from a valuable source, online, might I add. So I'm not the only person saying this. There's other people saying this. I would add the person's name and stuff like that, but they've been off cold. They've been real off cold lately and stuff like that. Shout out to him. Shout out to World Views in the building, up late night. Heard you. But let's play the audio, right? Let's play the audio first. Matter of fact, let's do this first. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's do this first. Let's do this. Let's play Matt Barnes speaking on how he feels like the situation is a little bit extra. And then we're going to go into the Stephen A. Smith and give it context and all that. You feel me? Because a lot of people know the situation. They just don't want to speak on it because it's heavy on race. It's heavy on the race issues.
Since I'm a part of the media now, and I try not to be like everyone else.
Oh yeah, and he was stalking her.
I try to, report and talk with facts and honesty. And I clearly have to say, last night.
And he may have sexually abused her as well, allegedly.
And after finding out the facts, after I spoke, I erased what I posted because.
But I'm speaking about
it's messy.
I'm speaking about Uduko, not Uduka. You feel me? Uduko. That's what this video is about. Uduko. You feel me? Cause y'all trying to be suing and all that. This nigga losing his job. You ain't about to catch your come up off me, you little tether.
It's 100 times uglier than any of us thought, and that's why I erased what I said. Some things happened that I can't condone, I can't back, and it's not my place to tell you what happened. If it ends up coming out, it ends up coming out.
Oh, it's gonna come out. Yeah, y'all knew it was gonna come out. That's why people deleting what they saying. That's why Malika Andrews was justified in her position. That's why the other white dude was so upset and angry. Like, it's a lot with this situation, and every news I hear about it, I'm gonna present it, and maybe even may depend on who's here, and then people show enough love. I may go to the exact source of who said it and play the video and stuff like that, and go into detail or whatever the case may be. But as far as right now, I have some notes written down that I will begin into.
But that was the reason why I erased my post last night, because after I posted it, I got a call from someone who had all the details, and the shit is deep. So
yeah, it's real deep, because he was dealing with her for a very long time, and he was trying to get her to break up with her husband. That's why he told Nia Long he was never going to marry her. He wanted that white vagina. But unfortunately, he don't understand. Once he didn't get the job done, because this investigation was up in July 2022. Once he didn't get the job done at the playoffs, come on, nigga, you were just another tether. And then Shorty says she want to get back with her Anglo-Saxon white zaddy, the patriarchal father of the dominant society in America. And what happened? that African propertyism, you know, because these tethers, these Africans in particular, they have a problem with looking at females as property and not human beings. You see, when you've been raised in Nigeria, you have that you may trick off your money on females and stuff like that because, you know, you have more disposable income. So it doesn't mean much, right? If you have a lot, it doesn't really mean much, right? But nevertheless, these people, these tethers, they treat their women like property, and that same mentality that he had, right? Because don't get it twisted, Nia Long is the trophy of black society, is one of our trophies, right? Is one of our most beautiful, elegant, pretty black women that we have to offer, and that we have offered on the big screen for 2-3 decades. And this tether told our sister that he would not marry her as if she was some regular thought on the street, and she still held it down. Still held it down for this clown. Still held it down. Because this Unduge was trying to get with a white woman. He was trying to chase around a white woman, and she let him believe, right? See, and the thing, it says they had consensual sex. Yes, there was consensual times that they had sexual intercourse. But when Karen said it was over, Unduge got a little upset. Unduge was a little bit upset. And he just couldn't let it go. And he may have committed the R word. He definitely stalked her. He definitely committed she has a kid with him, a child. I think it is a son, because I know I seen 2 kids in the photo, so I don't know if both kids is with Nia Long, but I know they definitely have like 1 kid together. What the heck is this? Let's see, because I know they got 1 kid together, because that Nia Long, she just came out and said that she's still a mother, and that, you know, she wants that privacy in the situation, you know. So let's play this real quick. Hold on, let me see something.
IDE UDOKA cannot be defended. His actions are his actions. Nobody fights for black coaches more than me. But I am telling you, a firing would have been warranted. Or you keep him. But to keep him, yet suspend him, by the way, not just suspend him.
About what exactly the information here. I start with this.
Enters Malika, do you have us?
Dr. Molly, thank you for
What is weird? For the next few years. He did that.
NBA reporter and host of NBA Today, our friend Micah Andrews. Malika, do you have us?
Dr. Molly, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. And obviously you had the statement from UDOKA that was given to you. What's your reaction now after hearing the press conference?
Well, Molly, thank you. If I could first start with this. Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here. And it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or to give more specifics.
There we go. And with that being said, let's start like the whole video so I get the whole context.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here. And it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or to give more specifics about what exactly the rule breaking was that led us to this point. So that, I just want to get that out of the way first. But to answer your question, Molly, I think what stood out to me I think what stood out to me is that Brad Stevens, he was upset. That's what stood out to me about what he termed rampant Twitter BS is the word that he used, that women were unfairly dragged into this within the Celtics organization. You could see that Brad Stevens was visibly upset about this, and I also...
Yes, they definitely dragged the wrong, I believe it was a lot of black women into the situation. A lot of names was thrown around because people just can't really like see this tether going from someone so beautiful to someone other than the goddess of this world, than the salt of the earth, than our beautiful queen, our beautiful sisters, the beta to our alpha, the black female. People couldn't see that. People couldn't see that. But hopefully they do release a name, but they may not, because like we all know, when it comes down to white people, when there's white people involved, it's a whole different situation. Now we may have a whole bunch of privacy and stuff like that. Now we may have, all the secret stuff or whatever, because they don't want us to tarnish her name, right? They don't want us to call the white woman a thotty, you know what I'm saying? A wop, a this, a that, or a promiscuous woman. Because if it was a black sister, best believe her name would have been announced at that press conference. See, you just got to put two and two together. If it was a black woman, her name would have been announced. All this secrecy, all this, extra, stuff, whatever the case may be, you could literally tell behind the scenes it is a white woman. It was a white woman that Nia Long's husband was chasing after. It began consensual. Her husband also works for the Boston Celtics. She worked there. Her husband worked there. The husband ended up finding out that they had a little fling. He used his patriarchal white privilege power, that $1 million worth of white skin. She told you that you was a tether, and that broke your little heart. And you started chasing her down. You started stalking her. You may have entered the vicinity in which she was resting her head, and may have seduced her into things that she was not a willing participant in. But she maybe was forced to participate so that you wouldn't physically demonstrate your might. And this is when she had to make it be known to the organization that there was a problem. You see how this goes. And which is when the investigation ensued, which is when in July all of this was found out, which is why last week to 2 weeks ago a lot of people already knew he was going to be suspended. This situation has been brewing all summer. And during this basketball season, it will play out. I promise you. And what you are hearing right now, you will hear all over ESPN, all over Fox News, and you will say, wow, the Most Wise was right. Where he get all his knowledge from? I get it from a divine source, the Most High, and black niggas that tell no motherfucking lies.
Found that to be gross and unnecessary, that folks were bringing in the names and the images of women that is just not a fact. That was purely speculation. And so to me, that is what stood out. But
you see that? It's just not a fact. She's trying to let y'all know, listen, it ain't the sisters.
The Celtics as an organization could have done more, and short of doing more ahead of this yesterday, they could have owned that responsibility in this press conference. I understand that there were legal parameters that they had to operate within for everybody involved, and I appreciate the fact that they brought in outside counsel and did a thorough organization, and I think that that is something that was clearly necessary in this situation. But the fact that it was able to go on all day, the fact that we are sitting here debating whether somebody else should have been suspended or not, we are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
First of all, let me be very clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I'm not blaming anybody but Ime Udoka. He deserves, the fact of the matter is, I've said he deserved to be fired if they were going to fire him. If you're not going to fire him, then don't fire him. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me. I listened to you.
Like, what is Stephen A. trying to say here, though? What is he really trying to say here? Like, the fuck is he trying? Like, for real, what is he really trying to say? I really don't get it.
Clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I'm not blaming anybody but Ime Udoka.
Nah, y'all was, cause you know what I'm saying, y'all was, cause y'all love coming at black women. Anytime it's a black woman, black men are quick to jump on top of that and step on their back and step all over them, and you feel me? It was a lot of people trying to say a little, you know what I mean, a little slick stuff. Even how you kind of interrupted her and this is my show, and come on, dude. Like, one thing Black Renaissance Podcast going to do, we going to get a lot of you blogger people and you like personalities out of that habit of disrespecting your host. I mean, not your host, your guest. You're not going to be having all these ego moments with guests and all that. Like, you bring somebody on your platform, you share your platform with somebody, you show them respect. You don't got to, you know what I'm saying, do all that. She felt strongly about her opinion. She knows the real allegations. As you know the real allegations, I'm pretty sure Stephen A. Smith knows the real allegation. But since it was a moment to jump on black women, since a lot of black women was the ones that was accused at first or whatever the case may be, they still may be accused, you know what I mean, at the moment. And this sister had to come and say, no, I'm mad at Boston Celtics for not divulging more information so that the fans wouldn't speculate so much, i.e. so that the fans would not blame black women for this situation when it is a Anglo-Saxon. But she cannot say that.
He deserves, the fact of the matter is, I've said he deserved to be fired if they were going to fire him. If you're not going to fire him, then don't fire him. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is...
Oh, so now they should have just kept it behind closed doors and all that, right? You think they're going to keep that type of stuff behind closed doors? This perfect time to paint the black man, the black head coach, right? Even though we understand, right? Us as foundational black Americans understand he's a tether. But to the rest of America, to the average American, it's just a black man. It's just a black man. And when that story breaks about what he did to this lady, how he traumatized, you know, this Karen, you know who's gonna feel the brunt of that attack? The black man.
Just
You
like
don't
you're
think
not
someone would
mentioning.
notice if Ime Udoka was not at-
Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening. Okay?
And now you're deflecting. She was talking about too much speculation and Boston not elaborating. And you're talking about you're trying to stop my show and you trying to deflect and change the conversation. You know what it is. Come on, man.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, I've already said he deserves to be fired, or he deserves to be there and handle it internally and privately. If you're not going to handle it privately, if you're going to publicize it in that fashion, then obviously it provokes everybody wanting to know, okay, well, who are the parties involved? When you have Amina Smith in Boston and other women pointing out the fact that there were women who were wrongly implicated in all of this, it's a disservice to them. I didn't come out with the report about a consensual relationship. I didn't come out with the report ahead of time leaking that they were going to suspend him for the year. They did that. And my point is, considering how...
And it was consensual in the beginning. Let's keep that in mind. It was consensual in the beginning. Most men do not know how to accept no. Her body, her choice. And not to sit here and sound like a simp or nothing like that, but it just is what it is. Times change, man. A lot of people don't, a lot of men in particular have a bug up their ass about females having so much power in 2022. This is where the birth of the manosphere comes from. And listen, I'm not even against the manosphere. I understand where that sentiment comes from. I'm in these streets dealing with these females, these new modern females. I get it. I understand it couldn't be aggravating. It's not as easy as it was in 2012. I understand. But that's not to say that we got to start sitting up here and defending what I would describe as a monster. This Tether's a monster. If those allegations are true that I heard, this Tether's a monster. But unfortunately, the media is not going to call him a Tether when the real story comes out. They're going to say a black man. And this is the part that hurts me, man. And it should hurt you too, Stephen A. But you want to sit up here and try to deflect and try to throw it on the sister. And, you know, the whole narrative, at least in the sports community, is, oh, look at how Stephen A shut down Malika Andrews. And, you know what I'm saying? He ain't, no. He ain't shut nobody down. He was just deflecting. He know what the situation is. And he trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Pervasive this kind of stuff has existed in professional sports for many years. My whole point is that, excuse me, make sure that you handle it in the same fashion it has always been handled. You could have fired him, and then we could have speculated till the cows come home, but he's gone. But to keep him there, keep him employed, but in the same breath, suspend him for a year, then also that year is indefinite. That is the issue that I have. Nobody's trying to...
Well, when you're dealing with two people that also work in the corporation, why would you just let the person go when he has all this information? Obviously, she was pillow talking about her husband, who also works at the Boston Celtics. So in order for them to make sure that none of this information leaks out by just firing him and letting him go, you know what I'm saying? They have to kind of keep him there and keep the leash on him at least. You know, keep his mouth closed so they could spin the narrative how they want to for a year. And then when that's done and all that's out there and all that, and they figure out how they're going to do it, then they're going to let him go. Now, I'm not here trying to advocate for these businesses, but I'm just speaking honest to God truth. What I would do if I was in that corporate situation. So no, firing him is not the smart thing to do. Not when you have created all this behind the scenes tension because you're addicted to proximity to whiteness. You're addicted to trying to be with a white woman. You really wanted to try to marry this woman. You wanted her to leave her husband, and he was going to leave Nia. This is why she was not at the games. Go and look back. Let's go and check those playoff games in June 2022, a couple months ago, and see if Nia Long was there. We didn't even know they was really. I didn't even know they was a thing, to be honest with you. And I watched the playoffs. Shout out to Steph Curry.
Ime Udoka, and certainly nobody is trying to protect, is to excoriate the women involved or anything like that. I'm talking about how things of this matter are usually handled from an HR perspective, from an organizational perspective. That is not consistent with what we have seen throughout the years. That is the only point that I was trying to make. I'm not trying to attack anybody, and if anybody deserves to be attacked, it's Ime Udoka for putting himself in this position. I've made that very clear. I'm just talking about you got owners and everybody else. They know the kind of stuff that's going on. You didn't say anything about anybody else. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them. They didn't say anything.
See, look, he didn't say about. They didn't say anything about anybody else. That anybody else that he's talking about is the other white man that works for the Boston Celtics as well. So he's trying to say like, oh, they're not putting out the other people, but they just kind of throwing him under the bus or whatever the case may be. Tethers do it to themselves, man. Tethers do it to themselves because, you see, sometimes, and I'm going to be real right now, I'm going to be so honest. You see, Stephen A. Smith, he from that 80s and 70s, like, ideology, that way of thinking, that Pan-African way of thinking. And when they see that African name, they feel like they got to protect their African brothers and the roots and all that. You know what I'm saying? Ime Udoka, oh nah, you know what I'm saying? And then by him protecting him, you keep your globalized fan base, right? Because now with the internet, there's a globalized fan base, right? There is a Afro beats, there is a West African fan base. As you know, if you're a creator on YouTube and stuff like that, you see it in your CPMs and stuff like that. You see all these other, geographic locations that watch your videos. And the NBA does have a large global presence, right? And those people spend money. So of course he's going to try to pander a little bit, somewhat, to Udoka. You feel me? And that's why he got his little light gloves on right now, because you got to keep in mind, by him pandering for Udoka, that African fan base is going to support Stephen A. Or so he thinks. Because Stephen A., you're still a foundational black American. They will never really fully support you. They will never support you as far as they could throw you. When you're dealing with tethers, they will never support you as far as they could throw you. It's not real support. It's just, what could I do till I could get something from you? You understand?
All the other times this stuff has happened, but now when it comes to him, it's all over the place. That is my issue. That is my only issue.
I appreciate that clarification, and I think that getting back to Molly's initial question, that is what stood out to me.
Thank you. Don't let that word salad get you off your game, sister.
Press conference, and I appreciate you clarifying that, Stephen A., is that the only thing that was made clear to me in this is that we are missing a key piece of information here.
It's that white woman.
Is my reaction to the press conference.
Obviously, random women getting blamed in the Celtic.
Now, I don't know who the heck that white dude is. I'm saying that comes on after the fact. But that's what. Oh, Jesus Christ! I didn't even know you was going off in here. I'm sorry. Becky gonna come for that money. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Becky gonna come for that money. Becky gonna come to ruin that black man's career, or what would be perceived as a black man. Because you got to remember, perception is power. So everybody perceives Udoka just to be another black man. You know what I'm saying? which is why, you know, they're protecting different names in the situation. But in due time, these names will come out. The truth shall come out. The truth shall come to the light, as it always does. And when it comes to the light, me and Worldviews, we gonna know the truth. Cause he was rocking out, you know, tuned in and all that, locked in. Shoot, I should make Worldviews a freaking mod and all that. Pop. Matter of fact, Worldviews, man, leave a comment, right? When this video goes up or whatever the case may be, exit out and come back when it go up and leave a comment. I'm gonna make you a mod and all that, you know what I'm saying? So whenever the trolls do start rolling in, because I ain't got no trolls yet, you know, I ain't popping nothing like that. But whenever the trolls do start rolling in, you know what I'm saying, Worldviews could already be on them, get them up out of here, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I mean, I love everybody, man. But oh man, yo, breaking news, man, breaking news, yo, my man. I know Nia Long is so mad right now. I know she is so mad. Like, yo, like, dude, like, why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to me? Oh man, yo, I tell you, boy, I tell you, man. You know, in conclusion, the problem with these tethers is that they really aspire to be white. They want to have kids with white people. They want to, you know, try to dress like white people, right? If you ever look at how even people in the diaspora dress or whatever, you know, Latinos, whatever, they wear them tight clothes. It's like it's like this bad rendition of like a European fashion, right? Because even in like Seville's Row, that's where like all the best suit makers in Italy is at, I believe. I think it's Seville's Row, something Row. I think it's Seville's Row. That do all the bespoke suits and stuff that cost like 20,000-30,000 per suit. These tethers feel like, you know, them wearing the tight jeans and the little Mexican bull riding button up shirt or whatever the case may be. It makes them feel like they're European. It makes them feel like they're a part of this, right? This thing called capitalism. You know, or you'll see tethers, you know, wearing suits or whatever the case may be, right? Tariq Nasheed constantly jokes about when immigrants come over, they always got on like these little cheap suits that they wear to school, and that's why people make jokes on them or whatever the case may be. Because they truly feel like, you know, the way to make it in life is to be white. Tethers truly feel like the way to make it in life is to be white. They don't look at it like the foundational Black American who we look at the true definition of life is to be right. Right? For the foundational Black American, we look at the true definition of life to be right. What does that mean? The foundational Black American is righteous by nature. So when I say we have a obligation to be right, that's just short for righteous. The foundational Black American always have to be righteous. We abide by universal law because we are gods and goddesses. We know that these are man-made laws are only products of precedent, right? You know, laws go into effect and come out of effect based on the times and eras that they're kind of like administered in. So when you're looking at laws and stuff like that, these are not things that's written in stone. You know, we could lobby against some Supreme Court situation, some Supreme Court ruling, and change the law if we have enough money, if we have enough time, if we have enough focus and enough patience or whatever, right? You know, unfortunately, you know, us as Black Americans at this moment, 2022, September 2022, we do not have the disposable income or the infrastructure set up at this very moment to do those things. But we are in the process of setting up the infrastructure. When you speak about the black man and the black woman only living to be righteous or to be right, and you have the tether only living to be white, that right there in itself is the fork in the road. That right there in itself is why Pan-Africanism. Who the heck is texting me? In LA, it's not even 3 in the morning. I'll be like, yo, who is texting me at 3 in the morning? But I forgot this girl's in LA, so it's like 12 o'clock out there. Shout out to everybody in LA, man. Anyway, it's not my fault. But yeah, she threw me off. Tethers only want to get to whiteness. Tethers want to be white. Black people want to be right or righteous. Tethers only want to get to white. They want to be whiteness, right? So when you're dealing with people like that, when you're dealing with people that will do anything, and I mean anything, to be accepted by these blue-eyed white devils, you gotta understand that these people are no friend of the black American. So when you see these situations take place like Udoka and all that, don't go out there trying to defend him. Don't go out there trying to do all this, throwing black women under the bus, trying to speculate, trying to Google all the black women's names and which one look promiscuous and all that, because that just make us look foolish, man. Boston by nature is a racist city. It's a racist town. This man was born in Oregon, Portland. He was born an American citizen, but did all this extra stuff to make sure that Nigeria he was born an American citizen and went back to Nigeria to get the dual citizenship because of his father and all that. Like, he wants to be close to that, right? So which means that, he abides by that way of thinking, and we all know Nigerians love white people. Look at the OnlyFans dude that was letting that white girl beat up on him and was still talking reckless about black females. We just got to look at the evidence. But in due time, the truth shall come out. The truth shall come to the light. And this is why, me personally, I only deal with foundational black American women. Because one thing about black American women, they know how to hold it down. They ain't just going to be throwing you out there for no reason and all that. You don't find too many black females just throwing niggas under the bus, especially in Hollywood and sports and nothing. Almost all of the time, when you see these girls come out, you dig into their background, they tethers, they got immigrant backgrounds, they got immigrant parents, they got this, you know what I'm saying? They already have some type of anti-blackness in them. They just had to, deal with us because it was like a scab. Teresa, it's like a scab. It's like, my blackness like a scab. Like, they only deal with us because they feel like it's like a scab or something. You feel me? Like, and then after that, after they get their clout up or whatever the case may be off of black people, then here they go throwing us under the bus. You never find foundational black American women throwing black men under the bus in Hollywood or in sports or in the entertainment industry, period. It's very rare. But that's why I love my sisters. And that's why I'm going to go show the sister some love that's texting me right now. Let me get up this live stream and text this girl back before she get all angry and all that. But anyway, man, freaking 40 to the family, man. 80 high to the guys, man. FBA all day. Peace and reparations, man. Y'all already know it's the motherfucking FBA way. The most wise. The motherfucking true and living. The light the way. The motherfucking God that speak truth to power, man. And remember, stay black, bold, and beautiful. The fight is real. The culture war is real. These niggas is fake. You feel me? And the only thing white supremacy want to do is confuse the black man and woman. And what we do here is break all that confusion so we can get back to righteousness. Because guess what? The black man and woman is righteous by nature, and the white man is the devil by mother fucking, I don't know.